Yes, 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 yes. Gang, gang. Always remember, whatever you think about comes about. Whatever you put your focus on, that's what grows, expands in your life. It's how life works. Universal principles. The beginning of the money flow. Very first thing I write, I'm a horrible writer, but I actually hated writing in school. I hate writing as an adult. I say in the beginning, but it's something you got to do. It's a mean of communication, like speaking or talking in public, or I guess you could say you could teach or talk through art, music, I guess. And people do, obviously, right? I say author's note. I want to say at the beginning of this book that I believe in buy and hold investing. And I believe in the power of dividends to compound and build massive wealth over time. Now, you could replace the word dividend with income. I know people that make, 300 plus. If they live reasonable and in short order of time on purpose with some of these principles of investing, especially all the things that are available in this world today, there's stuff that I can't even get my mind around. But how old was I? 31? 31 years old. I meet a guy, he hadn't been doing the money flow, but he'd been doing something similar. And he was worth, a couple $1,000,000. Net worth. I don't know how much cash he had, but, houses, buildings. He had a business, pretty successful business. And in assisted living. And he would take that money, man, and put it into stocks. He would take that money and buy real estate. And as he made more and more money, he invested more and more money, and the money he invested began to grow and make more money. That's how it works. And given enough time, if you make enough money where you can participate, there's 3 elements to it, right? Time. What is time? You're just about it all the fucking time. So if you bump into a 50-year-old and he's been doing the money flow since he was 20, the guy's probably loaded, man. He may not have called it the money flow. He may have called it something else. They call it all kinds of names, right? What's here? This is the stock chart, right? This is the stock of Ford. Ford makes cars. Very, very, very sensitive, what I would call a sensitive stock. I imagine the beta is much higher than, let me see if I can see that real quick. What is the beta on Ford? Meaning, when I say beta, meaning this stock, do they have it? 1.5. Beta is a measure of how close an instrument tracks to its benchmark, and it typically used to describe volatility. Volatility. That definition came from Morningstar. What that means is, if we're looking at this chart of Ford, watch, this is super important. At one time, it traded at $26, and then it didn't. And if you look at this, you're going to notice, if you just back up, man, let's just find, that's the highest high. And what I'm using here is about 6 months, okay? It gets weird when you get into year and a half, 2 years. That's long. I'm talking about the way price moves. And you've probably seen me show, I've showed this picture ad nauseum, because this is how price moves. It moves in waves. And we don't know how long it's going to go up or how long it's going to come down. And we don't need to know. We don't need to know the next card in blackjack or poker to know what decision to make. Meaning you don't know, right? And you don't need to know. Where's it? You don't need to know. Sorry, I was making sure it's working. We just need to know that it does do this. Now, if you're watching Ford, this is a random example. I try to use random stocks so that I can explain to you that it's random. There is the randomness of stock picking. And you say, what do you mean? Meaning I could be utilizing the concept of the money flow where I believe over time stocks go up. That's one. That's foundational principle. If I don't believe that, I'm not doing this. I'm doing something else. Okay? I believe that over time as prices do that, meaning Bitcoin over time will go up. You have to settle that. Because I can't come in here and play this. I can't go in and buy a stage one if I don't believe that over time it's going to go up. Then you're playing the wrong game. You have to be able to believe in the one you're playing in. Sometimes I'll refer to that as conviction. And you say, but what if you're wrong? Okay, I was going to be wrong anyway. Meaning we have to believe in what it is we're doing. You can't sell cars if you don't like cars or you don't like the company you work for. It doesn't make sense. You're not going to be successful at what you're doing. So when we come to this, one, we have to believe in what we're looking at. That's back to the formula, time times amount times yield, time. So on the 10 pillars, when I say study or learn, that's not learning something new all the time. That's learning what we're doing all the time. And as I go through watching charts, studying, looking, like you'll see me say, okay, go to tip ranks. What do they think it's worth? On average, out of 1 to 10, it's got about a 7. That means we have some analysts that love it, some hate it, 7. It's a C. C plus, 7. Meaning if you're in class, you got a C plus, you're like, fuck, I passed. Shit, almost got a B, right? That's the positive way you spend a C plus. It's a C plus. So the average analyst thinks the stock's worth $22, all things being good. Well, guess what? All things aren't being good right now. There are issues. There's pressures on the S&P 500, meaning the market has been pulling back. Guess what? Ford's going to pull back. It's also got added pressure that it sells SUVs and trucks and shit and gas is really expensive. Maybe I don't have money to buy a new truck. So there's issues, right? And it'll pull from true value and it'll start to go down and you'll see it. It'll move. It'll move sideways. It'll run up. It'll move sideways and it'll come down, right? And that's the basic pattern of price moving through this thing called the time, man. Moving through time, going forward next week, week after, week after. If you die Monday, this shit keeps going. Ford's going to live longer, assuming the company doesn't go out of business. But you get what I'm saying. Meaning that house down the street, when you die, it's still being rented. And it's been going. This game has been playing out, man. So guess what? I assume it's going to keep playing. What gives me the courage to come into the stock market, how I've been able to grow my dividends and all this stuff, how I've been able to do that is at some point I had to settle. I believe in this. I'm committed to this. And once I settle that part, oh shit. Now it's just a matter of learning some basic concepts and strategies and then applying them over and over and over. Time times amount equals yield. So this stock pays what? 5-6% dividend yield. What Morningstar says right now, and this is not a pitch for Ford, I'm just saying this is analysis. I want to find stocks. You may find stocks I don't find. You would do better with the money flow with your portfolio than mine if your stocks did better. That's not a reflection on the strategy. Meaning this is just saying this is what price is going to do. This is what price is going to do. I had a guy the other day, and I know what he was saying, but I wanted to say it back to him to explain the chaos of the market. He said, what's your criteria for a dividend stock? Behind this question is, as I look forward, I'm like, well, as soon as he said that to me, I'm thinking something. my mind, my universal eye, mind's eye, the collective shit that just pops in your brain says to me, you know, Gerald, whatever parameters he says, they're probably good. But your best deal's going to come when it doesn't meet those parameters. Think about that for a second. That's the chaos, man. And you're like, what do you mean? One man's foreclosure is another man's opportunity. You ever hear me say this? Applies to stocks and real estate. A lot of times when I talk to my real estate friends, as we begin to talk, I'm like, bro, you already know stocks. It's the same game, man. It's the same game, bro. We buy real estate when we think there's a room, a margin, an upside. There's profit based on what? The past. Meaning I continue to buy properties that pay me rent because I did it before and it worked. And then I did it before and it worked and it's still working. And I'm like, wow, okay, all this shit in my life is fucked up. This happens, that happens, this happens. But this works. And after I go, it's still working. Meaning I could pass away, leave it all to you. It would keep working. It would be up to you to grow it. Time times amount times yield. And I'm like, wow, man. Wow. The best opportunities are the foreclosures, right? Now, as you do this, there's always a bull market somewhere. You ever hear Jim Cramer say that? Because not all things move the same. So as we're looking at Ford, and I own like 1,000 shares of Ford, wrote it from $4 and I had $4,000 to $25,000. This was so profitable because it didn't meet his parameters. Let that sink in. Meaning, he says, Gerald, what's your parameters? I have very tough, stern parameters for a dividend stock to be in my portfolio. It's got to perform. Okay. I guess you don't buy deals then. Maybe. I don't know. See what I'm saying? That's the chaos of the market, man. And the only way that works is if you have a basic belief. You know, if you have a constant fear of a total wipeout, you won't be good at it. You'll never invest money. You'll never be confident. You'll never keep going forward. You won't consist. You won't have time. You give up time out of fear. There is no time. There's no time for multiplication, right? So if I'm looking at this is a weekly chart, right? Watch. This is a weekly chart. What do you see? You see Ford go sideways, right? Runs up. Starts to go down. This is a weekly chart though. So you're seeing these tiny money flows. Look, sideways, runs up. Very short sideways. Then what? Comes down. And then what? Goes sideways. And what does that look like? A lot like that. And what price is trying to do, what the real estate market is trying to do, is get to what? True value, man. So if I'm going to sell a house, I want true value. Why the fuck do I want anything else, right? Stocks are the same way. The difference is in a stock, you can just hit the button and get out right now. Fuck, I'm out. That's it. You buy a property, you can't do that. And so the whole thing moves slower. It turns slower. But it still swings between undervalued and overvalued around the emotions of human beings, man. And if we come to an agreement that people get greedy as fuck and run prices up, and people get really ridiculous out of fear and really run prices down. Look at this one. Look at Merck. What do you see? Look at this stock, man. Merck. We were buying this 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I was buying this 2 years ago because it was on sale. Is it on sale now? Now, what's the value of this company? Maybe. Let's see. What do they think Merck is worth? As we play the money flow, as we watch day by day, as we invest. Let's say we had money in this. This is Morningstar. Morningstar says Merck is trading within a range we consider fairly valued. There you go. You can read up on it. What are they saying? Retail price It's a $100 stock. It's at $100. There you go. Now, guess what? It's going to meet all your parameters. Everything's great now. All cylinders a go. Do you want to buy it now? No. Now, you say, what do you mean? It don't really meet my parameters now. That almost sounded opposite if your parameter is, it's got to be a good stock. It's got to be, you start listing out all these things that it's got to be. Well, guess what? When it is those, it's going to be trading at fair value and perfect because now it's all those. And so when you go into these things, you're looking for problems, issues. You get your margin, you get the discount when you can find problems. If a piece of real estate is perfect location, painted great, everything's arranged just right, love the layout, perfect curb appeal. Look, man, brand new roof. Guess what? It's not on sale. It's full price. Means we're in the business of problems. So as a trader, what do they say on, I'm in this stock, bought it when it was having problems. What is it now? MRK. One man's foreclosure is another man's opportunity. They say it's fair value. They say it's fair value. What do we want to do with this stock? Well, you could get out. Fair value. You flipped it. Congratulations. And that would be like flipping a house. You buy it undervalued. You want to fix it. And in this case, wait. Let them do it. The company's going to fix it. See, unlike a house, you're the one trying to fix it. You had to call people. They're trying to do it for you. People somewhere else you don't know who all they do is do business. They get up every day trying to fix this company and make it work. Whether it be Roku, Uber, Merck. And so you could actually investigate and see, who is this person? And go look who they are. What is the goal? What are they trying to do? And you could use intellect and say, all right, cool. I want to own different assets in different sectors of the economy that do different things. And I want to wait. And I want to buy more of these things when they're on sale. And I want to harvest or take gains on these things when they become fair priced or overpriced. Right? So now I want to do what? If we're looking at this, what you're seeing is a stage 3, but we don't know the top yet. I mean, I can't say it's done going up. Fuck, I don't know. Looks pretty strong. So here's what I do. I go fair valued, RSI's banging, right? We're at a previous top. Now, what you're going to notice, and as this plays out, it's going to go sideways. It's going to run up. What did it do over here? Ran up, went sideways. What did it do on the way down? Stopped and went sideways. So you start to see with the mind's eye, the money flow as you start to watch price move. And if you had the discipline, the consistency, the mental ability to stay with it, now you're witnessing what? The birth of a stage 3. Is this the top? I don't know. I don't need to know. I already made money. I don't give a fuck. Go up a little bit more, come down, whatever. We expect a stage 3. It's fair valued. But this was started 2 years ago. And along the way, a guy's like, this dumbass bought Merck and it went down 20%. Fuck, man. And he misses out on 2 years of dividend collections while we wait for the smart, sharp people that run this and for the rest of the stock market to go, wow, that thing's undervalued, man. And then it runs up. And guess what? People are stupid. They'll take it higher and higher and higher till it's way overvalued. And then what? You can sell a little more. You could keep some, but why not sell some to the people that are willing to pay too much? And this becomes part of the ebb and the flow of timing. Sometimes people get panicked. Our size 74. All right, man. We're in the zone. It's not an exact day. It's a place. It's a position in life. It's an area. And so as you watch and you're patient, this stage 3 could take weeks to play out, man. Shit, we might get a chance to bang it up in here, up in here, up in here. There's no commission. Sell one share. $80. Thank you. Tomorrow, one share. Next day, one share. And as you downsize it, you're downsizing it into what? Fair value, maybe overpriced, So maybe you could pick up what? Maybe one that's underpriced that won't meet your criteria. The one that meets your criteria is already fully priced. Wow. Man. Second thing I wrote in the book, The Money Flow, and this is way over my intellect. I just believe it and know it's true. I don't need to know the inner workings of electricity. I believe you. There was a point as I studied Bitcoin. This wasn't easy for me, man. Just adding a brand new, if you're younger, maybe it's easier, but when you've lived a while, you've seen bullshit, right? And you got to have a bullshit guard, man. You can't be easily suckered, dude. If you're easily suckered, like I get people who get tricked on Instagram. Oh, you contacted me and said you had a secret inner blood. I'm like, dude, does that even sound like some shit that sounds right to you? I'm going to call you with, what I got, a secret decoder ring? And there's just 8 of us with Illuminati knowledge, and I'm only sharing. I'm like, this is literally the conversation. People fall for it. We can't be like that. We got to be investigators. You want to buy real estate? You got to investigate. You walk around, pick up shit, look at it, ask dumb questions, poke on people, push, try to open a window, climb up in this thing, push on this. And you're like, what is this bullshit? Same in a stock, man. So as I go through, I'm looking for systems and ideas that can maybe shorten my list. One of the things I talk about in chapter 10 of You Don't Have to Die Broke. Free book, man. This was in that book. Look at this. Whoop, there it goes. What else was in that book? And you say, what do you mean? Time. Meaning, while I come on here, I talk to people on Instagram, I do this, guess what I'm doing? Investing. Guess what I was doing 3 years ago? Investing. Guess what I was doing 3 years before that? Investing. Guess what I was doing 3 years before that? This hard. What I do every day then. And guess what? It starts to grow and compound and multiply. So you take a stock like this. This stock pays 8, 9, 10, 12% dividend yields. If you're just targeting it when it's on sale and then compounding the rest, and when you get enough, you're like, I don't need to worry a lot about this. I'm not too worried about it unless it's on sale. Other than that, just holding it, baby. Pay me my $200 4 times this year. Thank you. I want 50 of you to pay me $200. You see what I mean? You start doing the numbers, and that's what this game comes about, man. So the money flow, as you watch price. Now, notice I'm not talking trading there. You could do trade, but you're gonna have to short it, simplify it, create. Okay, price me. I got to get out because you're trying to make money quickly, right? That's why I don't think they have the time or the focus or the discipline to sit there to day trade. Some do. But I do know this works. I know time works. And I know I'm going to be fucking alive anyway. You say, what do you mean? I anticipate being alive in 10 years. What about you? I want to be alive in 10 years. And I want to be balling. How could I do that? Stay the fucking course. Right? That's it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Watch. And look. And know, okay, this thing threw me off almost $300 on the last pay around. Cool. You know why it's not $500? Time times amount times yield. We know the yield floats between 8, 10, 12 as the stock goes up and down. We know the yield. We know I'm alive. Probably going to be alive next year. Means they're going to pay me 4 more times. So as I think about that and I go, is this on sale? Let's go over here. Because now I'm thinking, where do I want to put some money, man? They said 3. 10% discount. That's not much, man. Let's go over here. You say, what does this have to do with anything? Well, they're going to give me $300. Do I want to put it back into more shares? What if the shares are overpriced? That wouldn't be the best allocation for that money. Maybe the what is that? $1,200 they give me this year would be better allocated in Uber. I don't know. Right? So as I'm looking at this, Rating of 2. That's not good. What do they got? 12%. So it's trading undervalued 10%. All right. This is about where it'll stop going up, by the way. Why? Because this is not a growth company, guys. This is a lending machine. This stock right here, if you ever go read on it, PNNT, they lend money. So the money you put into here is being lent, not yours directly, but the share money was lent into the business. Guy's got 30 pizza shops, goes to this company to get a loan. You may want to buy an apartment building. They may get it. Let me get in on that mortgage. They take money, they leverage it, and they go into the marketplace and lend it. And that's how you get 8, 9, 10, 12% dividend yields. So if you got 70 grand in this, they're giving you 7 grand a year. And you say, well, that's not a lot. It's 7 grand. You didn't do anything. So you just woke up, there's $7,000. What if you got 10 of those? Starts to add up, man. And that's what this game is about, man. And it takes time. So a guy may buy 100 shares. Well, we got to get it to 1,000. Time times amount times yield, right? We could get to the 1,000 as fast as you want to do it. You say, what do you mean? Well, shit, if you get 100 grand tomorrow, you could have a whole 100 grand on the street. Literally. Now they say on the street, it literally is Wall Street. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, well, that's one. AG&C is a mortgage REIT. Guess what? There's mortgage problems. Probably won't meet your parameters. What do you mean? There's issues. They're raising interest rates. Inverted yield curve. Oh my God, houses are going for too much. Maybe it's a housing crisis. You don't want to own a mortgage lender, do you? Guess what? Price is coming down. That's the fundamental overhead pushing down on it. One man's foreclosures, another man's opportunity. So the guy that got in up here, he'll capitulate. They all do. So a guy who's buying it up here when it was trading overvalued or near value. So I don't want to own a lending thing. I don't want to own a thing that's economically sensitive when it's fair valued. Why? It's going down value when the problems come. Now I want to own it. I don't want to buy any. Let me rephrase that. You say, what do you mean? Meaning I want to own it because they pay me money. And I know as they pay me money going forward, the dividend coming up now is buying shares at $12. I have 1,000 shares of this. $12. Let's see. What do they think it's worth? You might think, what does this have to do with money flow? Everything. They think it's worth 15%. So my little drip they're going to give me, if I set it to buy more shares, that is literally called a drip, dividend reinvestment program. So when they pay you a dividend, you say, look, don't give it to me. Buy me more shares, bro. And you're like, what do you mean? The company's going to lower your overall cost. So every time you get a dividend, you get some of your money back. I was talking to my man Welby, I'm like, bro, stocks is real estate, bro. You got the mind. You just don't see it. What do you mean? And I said, you rent properties and you see the cash flow you get back, that chunk, that wedge, as your money, you're getting it back. And he tries to get all his money back in 2 years or less. I never even looked at real estate like that. And he's like, what do you mean? The cash flow needs to give me all my down payment back in 24 payments. So you could take 24, if it's $300 a month, $200 a month, multiply that. That's what he's trying to get in cash flow. I never analyzed like that. Right? But when I come to a stock, what am I doing? It needs to be undervalued. And if it's in my buy and hold, I need it to give me a drip. Why? So on the drip, when I get drips in the future and it's undervalued, or one man's foreclosure, I get it priced as cheap, and I didn't buy them. So when they come up, what is you say, Gerald, but man, they got problems. I know. That's the only way to get rich, bro. Buying problems. See, if you wait till it's all good, you're getting fair value. What do they think it's worth? They think it's down by 17%. Tip rank says 22%. Let's take the middle. They say, Gerald, how do you analyze stocks? I'm a genius. I went out and got all these dudes that went to fucking Princeton and Harvard, and they all got jobs, and then they just sit around and read about this shit and write about it. And I go read what they wrote. And you say, what if they're wrong? Well, I just look at what a bunch of them said. And I go, look, and these guys have jobs. And you're like, that guy's a dipshit. What does he know? I don't know. But I know he reads this every day. He knows more than I know because I can't master 35 industries. So some shit I just take for granted that that electricity works. And when I call my electrician and I say, hey man, it's not working, he fixes it. I don't need to know a lot of details. Does the light come on? Yeah, good. Is the house going to burn down? No. All right, we meet code. Yeah, appreciate you. Hey, Kenneth. Yeah, bro. I know you went to college. What do you think the stock is worth? You look at it every day. That's your job. You sit there, you watch this sector, you follow this company. What do you think it's worth if you were writing a check for it? And that's what he's going to give you, man. That's what analysts do. And because we don't trust him, I'm looking for a bunch. I prefer my stocks have 3, 4, 5 analysts. So when a guy shows me a stock and there is no analyst following it, just understand the reason is there's nobody on Wall Street that thinks this company's worth this shit. That might hurt your feelings. Meaning if you come over here and you run your stock through and nobody follows it, that's what they think of it. You could pick a sleeper. This is where we're back to. I could run the money flow and get different returns than you. You run the money flow and get different returns than me. And I have students all the time. Gerald, fucking killing it, bro. I'm up like 25% on the year and everybody's down. I'm like, why? He goes, I bought the VIX on a breakout. I bought Merck. I got into, I had caught that Lockheed Martin with you. And he's got this weird portfolio and everything is up. He was buying Pfizer when we were talking about that. And so he's on the cycle he's on. All his shit is going up. He didn't have anything like that went down. And he's like, this is awesome. I know. Guess what? It'll go against you. Meaning you got to now manage it. So as you're looking at Merck, you want to stay fully loaded? And you say, what's fully loaded? That's called position sizing. What is that? Position sizing. How large is it going to be in your portfolio? Let me show you something. I'm going to show you something here. Man, you guys are lucky. Let's see. Where is it at? Come on, man. All right. So I have my shit broke up in like 5 accounts. You say, why do you have, this is one portfolio, okay? So as I get up every day, I was talking about this on the boot camp, show people what I do. I self-manage. And I'm not trying to tell everyone to self-manage all your money. I have no problems. I totally believe in indexing. You can put money in. My friend Dan is a real estate guy, and Dan at U.S. Land Ventures, and he owns a ton of real estate, and every Friday he's put money into an index fund. He's been doing it for 30 years, and it's a shit ton of money. And he doesn't know anything about the stock market. Time times amount times yield. Of course, if you hang out with me, you'll start picking up individual stocks or you'll stop being around me. If you hang out with me, you're going to have Bitcoin, or you're going to stop hanging out with me because you're going to get tired of hearing me talk about Bitcoin. Some of my new friends in New Orleans are like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. You're always talking about Bitcoin. I know. What you think about comes about. What you focus on grows. I'm trying to get a shit ton of Bitcoin. I tell everyone I meet, you got some Bitcoin? No. Fuck, dude. I would buy a lot if I was you. Why? You don't believe in what you're doing? Everyone I get around, man, I'm like, listen, you need to buy a bunch of houses. What do you mean? I don't give a fuck about this bartending thing you got going here or whatever it is you do. You need to buy assets that produce money. And there's only really two places you're going to be able to do that as a normal blue-collar person. You're a bartender. Let me help you. You need to go to dividend stocks. And if you follow the money flow, the way you're going to catch up, right, is I'm going to show you a pattern. And you're going to build out what they call a portfolio of different things. And you're going to start small because, well, you fucking doubt it and you probably ain't got much. But as you become a person who wants more, your thoughts change. You're like, man, I need money for Bitcoin or this or that. I need money. Your thoughts change. I need money, man. Fuck. What is that? Well, we get it through our time, our talent, our right. And we turn our time and talent into what? Into income or profits or royalties. And then what? We need to convert that. This is it, man. This is the money flow in your mind. And if you don't get this doesn't matter. I can show you technically how to buy shit on sale. That's easy. What's the hard part is getting people to live a life that'll get them doing this consistently, man. That's the hard part. Letting life steal it. You should be getting ready to buy. You don't have to buy it. You could. It's at a support zone. This would be a little early. It's technically a stage 4. Now what? We have a thing called the RSI. This right here, the relative strength index, is a barometer. Everybody goes, what's the weather? What's the RSI? And they said, what about that? What about the RSI, man? Do you know the RSI on that? Like, this is super fucking important, dude. This is really important in your life, man. RSI is fucking magic. I meet people all the time. They don't know what it is. I feel sorry for you. You simple-minded person. Peasant. Dude, when you meet people who don't understand the stock market, how it works, how to invest, how to lock up their treasure, or any of the investment fields, peasants. All the aristocrats, all the barons, all the leaders, all the owners, in every society throughout all of history were the owners of assets that appreciate or produce cash flow. They owned the businesses or the buildings or the real estate or held large sums of cash. Everyone else is a peasant who provide the work. Most people live, and this is true, and once you see this in your mind's eye, this game gets so much easier. You get a choice. You could play on one side of the cash register or the other. And if all of your life is scheduled to be on this side, you get to provide the dividends, the interest, and the rent payments. Thank you. And so as I began to look at life, I'm like, fuck, dude. There are people positioned that no matter what, they're going to make money. They're in the mortgage lending business. And they go get a bunch of money, 20, 30, 40,000 to get it invested in this. And then what? They go get another one doing something else. And they just keep doing these and stacking them. And guess what happens after a generation of that? All the peasants want to tax them. That's how it works, man. That game's still being played today. Why do you think they call it landlords? You're lord of the land. What for? The government needs you to collect taxes. You're paying, people say, oh, poor people don't pay taxes. Yeah, they do. I do it for them. It's called property taxes, dude. They pay them. I pay. Fuck, trust me. I'm the middleman. I collect lots. I collect like $30,000 a year in dollars that I give to the king. Here you go. Here's your cut. I didn't pay it. It's not my money. It's their money. That's the cost, man. So as you begin to look, you're like, that's the money flow. Money's flowing. I could be on this side or that side. What do you mean? I could be a renter, right? And I just rent. I live in an apartment. Good. We need you. Same in stocks, man. My girlfriend at the time smoked. A lot of fucking, it was just everybody around me, really, to be honest, when I was growing up, was a smoker. Shit. And I know smokers, they buy that shit no matter what. Fucking homeless people buy this shit. People are, well, I don't like to invest in that. Don't. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm just telling you, people are going to buy these whether I own the stock or not. And I live here. And after I'm fucking dead, they're going to be smoking. Ain't none of my business. I don't want them to. Right? I don't want them to, but they're going to. And so there's stores all over America that push this shit. Guess what? Let's see. That's Macy's. What is it worth? Oh, man, I've made a lot of money on this. There's probably people who don't like that. I get it. I'm not mad at you. I understand. There's shit I don't do, too, because of money or because of that. MO's trading at we consider fairly valued, $54. I own $30,000 of this. Pays me about $2,000 a year. Hold on. You say, why? What do you mean? Okay. What do they think it's worth? $51. All right. So we can all conclude everyone thinks Altria is fairly priced. Look at that RSI. What does that tell you? It's trading fair value. Now I got $30,000 of this. I got about $10,000 of Merck that I was just showing you. It's trading fairly valued. Do these meet my parameters? See how when you get into a concept of parameters, it gets confusing. It's not as simple as people think it is. Because you're just coming in now, man. You're getting on the train now. So you're looking at shit from now. But the guy selling it to you, he might have got on the train 9 years ago. And he's selling you a big bump. He's getting paid. And you're buying fairly valued. He's collected rent, or let's say you had 1,000 shares of this. Some people play the game big. You say, what do you mean? Meaning, what if, as a general rule, you only buy one? Oh, sorry, guys. You only want to buy stage ones, right? You only want to buy stage ones when it's undervalued. What does undervalued look like? Well, as we watch the money flow, looks a lot like a stage 4, right? What do you mean? When stocks are on sale, they typically are coming off of a stage 4 decline, meaning price drops below the 20-day moving average, starts going down. And the guy that got in up here is like, man, this sucks. I know. But one man's foreclosure is another man's what? Opportunity. And so as I get in here, I'm like, man, I want to buy a bunch of this on stage 1. Right? Do you see how you're depending on your time frame, your opinion of a stage 4 decline changes? Warren Buffett likes them. He needs them. He needs good companies to go on sale because he needs to buy a shit ton because he's got billions. And he doesn't want to push the stock up. So he's just watching. And whenever it falls within his, quote, parameters, for me, so I'm looking at what? I want at least 20% upside, 30, 40, maybe less if it could trade at a premium. You say, what's a beta? So if we look at the beta of Ford, we were talking about that in the beginning. What's the beta of Ford? Right? It said 1.5. What does that mean? That means if the S&P moved $1, Ford would move $1.50. It runs hot, man. What about Uber? What do you think I bet I already moved it. I bet Uber's like a 2.5, maybe a 3. Meaning if the market's going up, all things considered, it's going to go up 3 times what S&P does. If it's going down, it's going to go down 3 times. Beta, velocity. That helps you when you look at a stock. What is the beta velocity? That way, make sure that it aligns with your values as a human being. Some people can't handle a stock like Uber. Dude, it could easily drop 50%, be fucking normal, and then turn around and go up 150%. And at the end of the year, end up only up 9%. And it did this way down, way up, way down. And in the middle of the way up, way down, way up, people have emotional feelings about it. As if the market cares. Doesn't. Nobody will ever give a shit about how you felt about it. And when you die, they'll still be playing this. Ford will be undervalued, then it won't be. And then it'll drift up and it'll be fair value. And one guy will be like, damn, I'm down in this. And this other guy's like, wow, this is a great opportunity. And that's how the market plays out. When we get in the middle and think all of a sudden shit we think is important, man. No, it ain't. All my rent houses will be owned by somebody else in the future. And the king will still be getting the property payments. And the peasants will still be paying. And that's how it works. And so as I sit back and like, man, I gotta watch this thing. This like some spiritual warfare shit. Yeah. 2 people can work at the same job. And in a year, 2 years, 3 years, based on positioning, decisions that were made, aggressiveness, one of them can be worth $1 million and the other guy's just there. Just there, man. You say, what do you mean? Maybe that guy, he saw like, wow, this whole area here, like all these properties are undervalued. Like, bam, he goes all in on it, right? Or he comes and finds stocks and he's like, man, these, as a general rule, I buy undervalued stocks that pay dividends and I just buy shit tons of them. And as I buy it and I go forward through time, times amount, times yield, through collections, all of a sudden, 5 years, 6 years into this, his friend hasn't been doing it. Now give up a decade. If you gave up a decade in Bitcoin, it's like 50,000% return. You understand that, right? There's things out there that in very short periods of time can make you shit tons of money. And then it's what you do with that money that determines whether you go on to do something big or not. The way that I got to millions of dollars, I just didn't let up. And when one deal worked, I'd maximize it. And then again and again. And I just stayed on, and I'm still doing it, man. Every day I'm like, okay, how do I grow this? How do I expand this? What's the best allocation of my time, talent, energy right now? And I only want to allocate that if I think it's going to help me grow, man. And if you start thinking like that, guess what? You're not buying shit that's going to go the opposite way. But a lot of people spend a lot of money doing the opposite. They're paying the interest. They provide the dividend, right? They're on the wrong side of the cash register on every transaction. And so in your life, guess what? You get a lot of gas. Guess what I want to have? I want to have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in the gas sector. But I can't do that right overnight. It takes time. So I first started, I bought 20 shares of Exxon or some shit. Years go on, I got 312 shares of Exxon. Guess what? Own Chevron, Conoco. Over the decade, like I just buy stage ones. Whenever oil's on sale, I buy it. Believing that over time, they're going to go up. But if you're like, I got to get out, you stop compounding. This is the problem with that. The problem with being fucking smart is you can outsmart yourself. And I've seen very brilliant people just not invest. They're doctors. They're not rich. They've been alive. They've been a doctor 30 years. Time times amount time. He could have just bought one fucking stock for the last 30 years. He could have just every Friday bought some S&P and just did it every week. It's that fucking simple. That works. Now, if that works, what if you actually got involved in it? What if you actually studied it? Right? What if you were involved with your money, man? And that's how regular people very quickly, yes, can way outperform a fucking index, or because you get to make allocation decisions, right? You get to decide what you do with that money, that time. You get to decide. You own all the Bitcoin you decided to own. Right? We make these decisions, man. The money flow. So as I watch price, I got to make sense of what I'm doing. And when you first come in, my first goal is just to get people to do the easy, the obvious. Because the foundation of that is so important. And a guy will say, crypto is a perfect example. You should buy Bitcoin. You don't have enough. I know you want to be fancy and you want to buy this one and that coin and this and that. But okay, maybe you'll be fucking wrong on that. We need a base. We need a bag. We need wins. We need stuff that just works all the time. This pays me always. And as you build that out, your job now is not to lose it. Now, as you make money, guess what? The more money you make, the more speculative you can play around with some. Some people take all of it and try to do that. Maybe it'll work. But I don't think you own enough Bitcoin or even understand it enough to even look at other shit. Now you say, Gerald, I've been doing this for 9. I'm not talking to you then. I'm talking to the guy who's, he's just getting going. The same that I teach with real estate, man. More, guy contacted me today. He says, man, I went to this seminar. I know a lot about real estate. I want you to be my mentor. And I said, how many houses do you own? None. What do you need to mentor about? You're not doing anything. I need to hold your hand and sit right next to you and go visit the house. Do I need to go to closing and keep my arms around your shoulder and rub your neck? And you can do this, man. Look at you. Man, you're the sharpest dressed guy in closing. Look at you, man. Man, you're awesome. Look at this house I got for you. Awesome. Like, what is it you want me to say? The guy that needs the mentoring, and you say, Joe, you can spin. No. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. The guy that needs the mentoring is, that's 0 to 1. 0, meaning you have 0. Now you have 1. The cosmic shift and move in the universe, the energy it took, the courage, the strength to go from 0 to 1. That's the guy you want to put your time in. You get what I'm saying? He's proven to himself. Now he's got to multiply this. You don't need mentoring to get to 1. You just got to get up and get to 1, right? Same in stocks. Same in Bitcoin. Like, you got to buy it, man. And so as I go through, now what I'm looking for is strategies to help, So once we come in, you don't need a lot of strategies. That's why I teach the dogs of the Dow. Look at the stocks that these are. This is so important. Look at the stocks these are. Amgen. Look at the price of Amgen. 252, banging a 78 RSI. So not knowing jack shit about the stock market, if you had bought this, you're up pretty good in Amgen, and it throws you off a little trip. And I've been telling people, buy these stocks for 5 years when I wrote that book. And you go, what do you mean? It's really simple. Take the money flow, lay it over these 10 stocks, buy stage ones, let the dividends go to cash. That's money. Keep adding to it all fucking year, buying stage ones, trim when they run up so that you have money to buy to the ones that come down. And somebody else picked your stocks, a system that has worked longer than you've been alive. It's called Dogs of the Dow. It's worked longer than you've been alive on planet Earth. And when you're dead, this will still be working. You get to choose to insert yourself into it or to not. And so you might need someone to hold your hand, walk you into the thing. But here's the strategy. So you go and you buy them. And there's people that have read my shit 5 years who've watched this shit go up for 5 years, paying dividends, still looking at it going, hey, man, think you could help me? Help you what, dude? Open the, like, you get what I'm saying? And so as you lay this over, but guess what? There's no faith. They don't have any faith in this, right? This here. I know this works. I don't know about my neighbor. I don't know about the guy over there. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if they work. I don't know if they're going to show up tomorrow. But these 10 stocks are going to show up. And they're going to pay me my dividend. And they're going to move through this pattern right here. And I could watch it. And every time Exxon was on a 1, I'm just nibbling on those ones. Let me get the ones, baby. Yeah, bring it down. And all the guys that don't have faith, who do not believe, who do not understand that stocks go up over time, they don't believe in this shit. When it's going down, they're not feeling too good. Of course not. They don't believe, man. If you don't believe in Bitcoin, when it goes down, it'll scare you. That nausea feeling you have is your unbelief, your lack of conviction. And that's intangible. You can't read the money flow book and get that. I can't give you that. I can't give you that. I can give it to me. And the guy the other day tell me your strategy doesn't work. What do you mean it doesn't fucking work? You don't work. You don't have the courage. You're not staying in there. This game was here long before you. And if you pick stocks in a sector and the whole fucking sector went down, that's not the money flow. That's called the stock market. It moves down, dummy. And when it moves down, you have options. You know it's a stage 4, right? What, you need your hand held? You know if it's going down and you don't believe in the stock, get out. If you enjoy the stock, good. You get to buy stage 1s and lower your price point because you're holding this shit for life. You're trying to get rich. I need it to come down. Bring it down. I need Uber at $14. How am I going to get rich paying over prices? So as I watch this is the advantage that the stock market has that the real estate market doesn't have. I've been hearing that real estate market's going to crash for 7 years, and it just keeps going up and up and up. It's ridiculous to try to predict it. Unless you're a billionaire, it doesn't even fucking matter. You buy when you can afford, and the cash flow will pay when the rents will cash flow. That's when you buy real estate. That's when you buy dividend stocks, irregardless of what's going on in the economy. If a stock pays a dividend, like Ford, and it's undervalued by 47%, and other people don't like it, you want to lay that over the money flow with faith and say, guess what? I'm going to buy all the stage 1s. And you say, well, I don't have a lot. Then buy 1 share. And you build out this portfolio and you read and you understand. And if you own all 10 of the dogs of the Dow, let's keep going. I know, but this has been a hard strategy, Gerald. Jeez. I mean, it comes out once a year and then you got to buy them and sit on them. Chevron. How much is Chevron up? Dogs of the Dow is smoking S&P, probably smoking you. Look at what is Chevron. Straight up. Keep going. Dow. Up. Keep going. IBM, a little bit of a tech. Now notice, as you look at the IBM chart, notice this. When was it the best time to buy? Well, seems to me if you're following the money flow, stage 1s. Did we need to fear the 4? Nope. Not if I believe it's going up over time. Not if I've settled that. If I've taken 0 off the table for Bitcoin, it gets easy. Good. Give me some. Bam. What about over here? Yeah, that wasn't even a big enough dip. I'm not excited. Down here, I'm a little excited. Comes up, guess what? Same thing, going forward. As I build this out, the only reason it doesn't work, doesn't build out, guess what? You didn't show up. You got some money flow doesn't work. No, bro, you don't work. It's just what you apply it to. Well, okay, does it meet your parameters, Gerald? What do you mean, like an overpriced stock that's doing well? Is that what it mean? Or is our parameters a shitty stock paying its dividend that's having trouble? I don't know. You tell me. What's your parameters? Whatever parameters you come up with, it's going to get whacked, dude. Because going forward, it's going to change. It's going to be a virus. Well, if you have a stock and there's a fucking national virus and they stop doing all sales, guess what? It doesn't meet your parameter anymore. It's not making any money. Right? So part of our portfolio is we have to understand that things get messed up, man. And so then we look at something, is this fixable? What about Uber? I didn't know there'd be $120 gas. Does that throw a monkey wrench in my Uber trade? Yeah. So how do I get to look at that? The guy says, maybe we're wrong and we should get out. Yeah, you should. You should. I'm going to get rich. So I'm going to keep buying it. Call me stupid. Now, it's not the only thing I'm buying. So if your money's small, you buy 1 share, 2 shares. Next time you can, you buy 1, 2, and that shit adds up. I buy 3, 4 at a time. I'm going to try to buy a couple lots this week if I can. Just bang it. I'm going to wait, man. It's going to much higher. But when everybody goes, man, Uber's a great company, it's going to be an 85 RSI trading at true value. All right, let's go. What about Coca-Cola? Oh, this one's done terrible, Gerald. Really? So just following the money flow. There's stage 1 buy, right? Where's the next one? Over here. There's the next one. The only reason this worked is because the stage 4 decline happened. The only reason it worked is because of this. We need this. I need this. I need this shit to go so low you guys all leave. Why? So that I can be richer. That's what we need, man. It's like, I was reading this thing. I put this thing out on Twitter. It was talking about Rockefeller. They said Rockefeller, whenever there'd be catastrophic problems, like his stock went down. I don't know if you know this. Bill Gates' stocks go down, just like yours. Rich people's stock go down. There's these fucking idiots out there that think somehow they're all out. They all got out of all their stocks. Is it possible that some politicians or people can front run or get lucky? Sure, man. But Warren Buffett is smarter than congressmen, and he's done okay, and he didn't do that. A lot of people didn't do that. I mean, you don't need to do that. But there's a lot of people who put that out there as if that is true, man. And what's funny is it's in the crypto market too, man. There's always the peddlers of fear. Just ignore them. And when those opportunities happen, it's a good thing, not a bad thing. That's why those people are so stupid, man. It's a good thing. And I'm not a seller of assets, so I don't have to participate in the price you're offering me. Had a guy offer, he said, hey, I'll give you 121 for your house. I think it's worth 140. I paid 12. 120 would be a great gain. Fuck him. I think it's 140. I think you're going to cash flow at 140. When you put 20% down, dude, I'm not stupid. I know how this works. So I look at it as an investor. I'm not trying to rip the guy off, but I go, okay, if the house is 140, we're renting it right now for 1,100. Dude, if he puts down a standard 20%, he's going to be cash flowing 300 plus. No, I'm not giving it to you for 120. So this dude can walk out with the same No. That's not a good deal to me. Right? Get it? But he's running the same math I'm running there, man. That's what we're running here, man. My real estate friends, if you would apply the knowledge that you do to buy a real estate deal, I could turn Welby into a dividend stock killer. Meaning, if we take that same concept, and then what he's got to do, though, or I'm just using him as an example, he's got to limit his world based around the time. Time times amount times yield. We want yield, so we're going to focus on yielding things right now. And this isn't trading that I'm talking about here. I'm talking about taking a guy that makes money with money and showing him how to do that in the stock market. Now he's got to find a reliable source like Zillow. There's this thing out there. I'm in the Airbnb game now, officially. Somebody rented my spot. I made right at $300 this weekend on Airbnb. So, and these are numbers you can run, right? So if I'm watching this, I got to ask myself, okay, so this starts throwing me off some money. All right, cool. Do I want it to buy more shares? So if Coca-Cola, I don't even know what this is worth. Let's see. Let's say I own Coca-Cola. Do I want to drip the dividend? You say, what do you mean? Do I want it to buy more Coca-Cola? They say it's trading 8% overvalued. Fuck. Okay. It's trading overvalued and the RSI is 80. All right. Come over here. A little bit of discrepancy. They say it's got 6% upside. That's not much. So let's say I own a bunch of this and the RSI is 68. The general consensus is it's true value. Do you want to buy this? Huh? Gerald, let me buy an overpriced thing. Okay. And then I want it to stay overpriced my whole life, never going down because it upsets me. Be honest, it's gotten hard to take over the years. It's gotten hard to take, man. Because you need the sell-offs, you need the drops. Now, this is going up. I own a bunch of Coke, okay? What else do I own a bunch of? Pepsi. What's it doing? Straight up. You guys say, Gerald, the money flow doesn't work. Yeah, it does. It doesn't give a fuck about your sector. And there are other rules apply, such as diversification. Very old concept. What is that? Protects us from ourselves. It protects us from crazy people. So the reason I don't put I don't want a $2 million rental. I'd rather have 10 $200,000 houses. Or to be honest, I'd rather have 20 $100,000 houses. For me, why? It gives me options. Spreads my risk. What if the fucking renter's crazy? What if a tornado hits a house? What if this? What if that? Right? Same in stocks, man. Different things affect different companies. So why is Ford going straight down and Pepsi's going straight up? Why? This is a stage 2. Where's the money flow say the breakout happens? On every page that talks about a breakout, it's price rocketing above the 20-day moving average, right? And what is that? Taking on faith. I don't know if that's a breakout, man. It's what I call one. Because it's higher. You say, why? It's fractal. Fractal's never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely well, my Instagram's gone crazy here. What the hell, man? Hold on, guys. Anybody else having problems with Instagram? Hey, somebody on YouTube, see if you can load Instagram. Wow, that was fucking weird. Well, there it goes again. I know it paused for me, man. I'm saying, can you? Is your... All right, man. I think I'm having some internet issues or something. All right, man. Let me wrap up there. I've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. See what's going on with my tech. I appreciate you guys listening. Is it the same? All right, man. Video says pause. Devil's trying to... Appreciate you guys listening, man. You be good.